right, for this video, we are going to do an introduction into statistics. Okay, starting out really nice and easy, we're going to go over what it is to find the mean. A lot of you recognize mean as average, where we add up all of our numbers and then divide by the total numbers we added. For example, I have 100, 87, 64, 91, and 88. If we were to add those up, we're going to end up getting 430. And then I'm going to take the 430, divide that by 5, and that's going to give me 86. So the mean or average of this data set is 86. We're going to also find the average here. I haven't pre-done this one yet, so we're going to take our handy dandy calculator, and I am going to add 88 plus 84 plus 80 plus 81 plus 86, and I'm going to get 419, and I'm going to divide that by 5, and that gives me 83.8. All right, so based off of that, we can see that our averages are pretty close. Within reason. That's going to come into play as we talk about some more of this vocab here. For our unit, when we talk about mean, we're actually going to give it a variable. So we have the notation that says this represents the mean of this data set. And we're going to use the Greek letter mu. This is lowercase mu, okay, Greek letter, and it is going to represent the mean. So anytime we see this, we know that this represents the mean of the data set. Okay, cool. Moving on. Standard deviation. Standard deviation is going to tell us how much our data points vary from the mean. For example, if we were to take these numbers here and say they were test scores, here my test scores vary. We're going from 100 to 64. That's quite the range. So we have the data that gives us a mean of 86, and then our data points vary from 86. So 100 to 86, that's a difference of 14. Then the 64 to 86, that's a difference of 22. That's quite the range. Then here we have our second set. Our average is 83. The furthest number from 83 is going to be our 88 here, which is 4.2 away. That's pretty close. So the standard deviation of this second set is going to be smaller than the standard deviation of that first set. Yeah? So again, the standard deviation, what it's going to tell us, it's going to show us how far each data point is from the mean. So that variance, how far away, how much does it deviate from the mean? Deviation, right? Okay, standard deviation, we're also going to give this a variable, so we know that every time we use that variable, we're talking about standard deviation. That variable is going to be a lowercase sigma. Okay? So this right here is sigma. Lowercase, what it means, or for us, it's going to represent standard deviation. Okay? And again, that's just talking about how much our data varies. Now we're going to talk about normal distribution. What happens here, a lot of you have taken standard tests like the PSAT, the ACT, the Aspire, and you're going to get results back, and those results say like, oh, you performed in the 95th percentile. That's based on a normal distribution, okay? And what that would look like if you were to collect all the data and chart it, you would see a majority of the data here in the middle, then you'd have minimal data in the extremes. So it is normally distributed. You got some extremes, a lot of average, and then some extremes, okay? This is a normal distribution for a data curve. But we might have a skewed data distribution. For example, if we had this data set here, 100, if everybody was scoring in the 100 and then one person was in the 64, that data would be skewed and it would look something like this, where all of the data is up here at the high numbers, not so much here at the low. Or if everybody failed a quiz and only a few did well, we would see this skew for the distribution. You'd see all of the data falling here. So imagine we're adding up these test scores and each dot represents a test score. There's only a couple over here. Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to be dealing mostly with the normal distribution and the information that comes with that, but it's good to recognize that skewed data and how do we know. Okay, again, this is an intro, very surface level. Hopefully it makes sense. If not, let me know. We'll go over questions. Okay, cool, awesome. See you in the next video.